Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I've Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio.
Well, because it's the end of the year and we are approaching the holidays, as well as the days here in Georgia have been really dark and gloomy, dark and gloomy, I have requested for the chance of lamenting what could have been, I guess in the form of a movie, the making of history. I mean, I was so excited. And we're talking about the movie The Mummy 3. And I will say, when it came out originally, I didn't know it existed. It took me a long time to realize there was a third one. And actually, they don't go by The Mummy 3. Instead, it's actually known as The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. So if you need to search that, you have to buy it because it's nowhere. It's not streaming anywhere. And Anney and I had two very different reactions when we rewatched this, didn't we? And we'll talk about that in the end.
Yeah.
But I just need to note, weirdly, there is a brief mention of child abuse.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go into it. But, just so you're in there, this is supposed to be a lighthearted, what could have been, what I wish it had been kind of episode about a movie that really is iconic. And also because we're celebrating the fact that there is a new reprise of The Mummy supposedly coming through with the original cast. And at the end, I think we should do a prediction of that.
Oh, okay.
But that's just later down. But there's all these things. So this, I will say, is not a feminist movie feature. I repeat, not a feminist movie Friday feature. This is what I would call, let me have this moment. Just let me have this segment.
Is that what I should call the title?
Just let me have this, okay?
Okay.
Is it a good movie? But did it make its profits? Sure. Did this kind of end the franchise as we knew it? Maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, just let me have this, okay?
Okay.
Anyway, this is a 2008 movie. Again, it didn't do awful. I think the budget was $140 million, but it made $400 million. So, better than some of the other movies that are out there today that doesn't make back what they put in. So, we got that. It didn't do great. I think it's 2 stars for the Letterboxd, which does a lot of opinions on this. The reviews go back and forth. If you read some of the IMDb reviews, you're like, don't judge, go watch. And the other people are like, this is awful, don't watch it. So, it's a mixed bag. I feel like it could be up there with the Scorpio King in that level of comebackness, but I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. They did use the same CGI company as Lord of the Rings, though.
You know what? One day we should do the Scorpion King.
Oh, I have not watched that. After Mummy 2, I couldn't watch the actual.
I think to complete this out one day.
I refuse to watch the Tom Cruise movie. I will say that.
Oh, that's okay. I'm not asking for that.
I refuse to watch that one.
I've already seen it, and I can do that for you.
Okay, thank you. So again, like I said, we're doing this partly because the rumors, and it seems confirmed. You never know till you never know, because sometimes they do get shelved though. So of the newest comeback, because Brendan Fraser has really come back to be celebrated, as he should be. Unless something comes out that's really dark and twisted. I don't know. But we're excited to see him come back. They did do, where the artist on artist or actor on actor Hollywood thing. They did do an episode with Brendan Fraser and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had a Q&A. So all of these things are wild. We need to finish this trilogy, even if it's not to the height of its glory of what it could have been. Because they had some bad actors in it, Amy. Amy, who are you?
Samantha doesn't
Let me
even
have
know
this,
who
Anney.
I am.
Let me have this. This is what I'm talking about.
They did have bad actors. And for listeners who haven't seen these, they're very action adventure. They're very fun. And there's been a lot of nostalgic bringing back of them. You can see we did a feminist movie Friday. on The Mummy and some of The Mummy 2. We have a future episode coming up that's also related to this. But yeah, I mean, they were really fun. I remember clearly I saw every one of them in theaters.
Yeah,
and even if I don't remember the contents necessarily, which we'll discuss later, I loved them. I loved them.
I thought you hated them, the last two.
I didn't hate them. I loved the first one. And then the second one, I was like, huh. And then the third one, I kind of just forgot. Like, legitimately, I watched it this morning for the first time since I saw it in theaters. And I was surprised at how much I was like, oh, they're Yetis. Don't remember any of this.
Okay, you know what? You just had me have a flashback, and I lied, I think. I did see this in theaters because I was the nanny, and I took the kids to see this movie as an excuse to see this movie, but paid by someone else.
Yeah.
And they really liked it, to be fair.
It's got a lot of action in it.
I mean, okay. All right, so I'm going to do a rough synopsis. I'm not even getting the whole plot like we usually do. I'm just going to do a rough synopsis, and you're going to interject what you remember here and there. Because also, there's a lot of like Mandarin and like Chinese folklore that I don't know. And Anney, who got kicked out, is banned from China, knows way more than I do.
I have to say, I actually did pick up on some things. I was like, oh, oracle bones. I know what those are now. Okay.
See, I knew it. I knew you being banned from and kicked out of China was going to benefit us.
I could understand The Mummy 3 a little bit better. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm glad.
I'm glad that I can interject that into every episode of China. All right, here we go. So we start off with the ancient area that's known as China now. Obviously, it's like a whole different territorial time with lots of wars and battles. And we have the Dragon Emperor, who is Jet Li. And he's fighting, well, everyone, because, you know, we got to take over all the lands. That's just the whole thing that they do. He is evil and power hungry, but does as he sets off to do. Like, he's got a goal, and man, is he doing his thing. We also see his General Ming, who is played by Russell Wong, who I had a huge crush on in the younger days. We featured him before on when we talked about Joy Luck Club, which, yes, he was a bad guy in that one, but he was a player in that one, but he is a good guy in this one, and we get to see him once again as a general. And then we have Michelle Yeoh. You know how we feel about her. We love her, playing the sorceress Xian. And the three of them are in a love triangle, except she wants nothing to do with the emperor because she knows, but he is jealous, and so things don't go well for them, like quartering of the general, who was his best friend, by the way, because they fell in love, the sorceress and the general. But all this, the reason they went to find the sorceress is because the emperor wants to be immortal. He has learned the elements of fire, water, all the power. So he's already magical, but he needs more. He wants to live forever, obviously. He goes and fetches her, who says she can find the immortality spells or whatnot. Does a spell on him in Sanskrit, and, you know, this is when he kind of pulls out, like, I'm gonna kill your lover because I know what you did unless you marry me. And she's like, you won't keep your promise. He's like, you're right. Kills the general and then stabs her. She runs away. It turns out she actually cursed him and the terracotta army, if you know that they actually exist. A lot of like bits of history placed in there. So he turns into fire and sand, and his entire army all get buried. But of course, because this is the Mummy franchise, we know things are going to happen. So at this point in time, we cut to Rick trying to live his retired life by fly fishing. He's not good at it, y'all. Not good at it. Evie, who puts out the line, we've talked about this many a time, about the fact that when she was doing an odd book reading, because I'm like, this doesn't fit. Evie was a Cambridge scholar who has wanted to like curate all of these things, all of a sudden is writing romance adventure books.
Yeah.
That didn't make sense to me. I will say that. However, on that note, she makes the line that I was a completely different person or woman than me. Haha. And it's Maria Bello. She was set up to fail. It really is hard shoes to fill.
Yes. So, listeners, if you don't know, Rachel Weisz, who played Evie in the first two movies, did not come back for the third one and was played by a different person. And that was sort of their acknowledging joke that, yes, this is not the same person. And I have to say, watching it today, I kept thinking, how odd to act in a... That must be strange for Brendan Fraser as well.
Right.
Because it's not the same person.
Right. Right. There are so many things to that. All that to say that they are retired and comfortably living in the UK. I'm assuming London.
Yeah.
But all of this is happening. At the same time, we find out Alex is all grown now. He's 20-something years old, dropped out of college, is now in China in search of this army and all about the emperor and all these things because he knows everything about it. He's kind of seemingly followed his father and mother's footsteps in discovering new things. He has been sponsored by this guy from the UK, professor, who is helping him do all these things. They get into a lot of hijinks, lots of traps, which, by the way, apparently is true. That when they were actually digging up these types of artifacts in China, there are so many traps that were laid out that they were like, it took them years to unfold. Unlike this series, which took a day and a few deaths. No big deal.
Yeah, a few deaths. I was like, wow.
Well, you know how many people died in discovering Imhotep?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So many. Okay. Sacrifices. Anyway, all of that to say. Okay, we're back to this. We discover there is a protector assassin who is also going after Alex. By the way, Alex now has an American accent instead of the English accent that he had when he was younger. But moving on. All this point, we go back to Rick and Evie, and like the British government is asking them to go take back an artifact, the Eye of Shangri-La, which always sounded made up to me in my head, but I guess that's the thing. Anyway, they go back, and even though a back and forth happened, they decided, okay, we're going to take it back to China. Jonathan, her brother, who is played by the original actor, is there, so they're going to visit him as well. All these adventures, because also they're dying to go back onto Adventure Times and do some discovering. All this to say, they go to China, discover Alex is there, all unhappy. Apparently, things have not gone well for the father-son. A lot of stereotypical things happen, whether the mother's trying to keep the peace and the father and the son don't approve. Jealousy abounds. I don't know. Things are happening there. We also have Game of Thrones actor playing the pilot in this one because they need a pilot, I feel like, in every one. Whether it's an air balloon, a warplane, warplane, or this plane, which was a cargo plane with yaks.
I didn't know he was from Game of Thrones, but yes.
Yes, it is. I was like, wait, I know him. Anyway, and so at this point, they go to see Alex's exhibit that he has discovered. Plot twist. The Chinese government is trying to bring back the emperor from the dead so they could take over the world as intended. Things happen. The mummy, he's a mummy, but he comes back as a really weird figure and trying to be whole again, has to find the immortal pool. Turns out this young assassin girl was protecting the world from this creature, and it was actually the sorcerers, Ziyao's younger daughter, who is also the daughter of the general, and they've been living for thousands of years trying to protect the world from this heinous thing. Lots of adventures happen. Rick almost dies. They end up with the help of some Yetis, pilots, so many things. Get to the immortal place, and he gets all healed, and there's a cute, great reunion scene. Really awkward love story between Alex and the daughter, Lynn, happens, and it's very forced and very awkward to me.
Yeah. Some of it I couldn't tell if this was an acting or writing problem, but also like just felt strange.
It felt strange.
I do get that, like, you know, she tried to murder me. How hot. Right. People do that in entertainment a lot, but it just felt like
she was so ready to sacrifice her mother for this. Like, I'm like,
you don't know him very well. Like, maybe take some time.
Yeah, this dude was like going after another girl in the bar previously, and then he got his face punched. I mean, like, there's so many things that I'm like, Okay, but you know what? Go on. Got a love story, I guess. I'll like to see how they play this. But we move on, and yes, a battle ensues. The emperor does become immortal and raises his terracotta army. And if they can go bypass a certain line, then they will come back to life. But at the same time, Xian brings back all those that have been wronged by the emperor, including her one and only love, General Ming, to defend against those people. And we have a big battle. And then it turns out she sacrifices herself to get to a dagger that could kill this now immortal emperor. All these things happen. The son and Rick, Alex and Rick come together and stab him in the heart at the same time because they're so great. After really bad CGI of a three-headed dragon, sure, has kidnapped the daughter at one point. And then as everything goes back to play, we see the mother dies. Goodbye to you. We love you, Michelle Yeoh. And the club is now given to that English pilot that we talked about because Jonathan was done. He's done with all the mummies, but he's got some treasure somewhere from Shangri-La. We don't know what, because he knows how to get away with things. And everybody's dancing inappropriately. Like Alex was wall touching this girl's butt. And I was like, wow, okay. Interesting choice. And that was the end.
Yep. Yeah. And again, this is one of those movie descriptions that for listeners who have not seen this, and especially who haven't seen any of the Mummy movies, thank you for coming along with the ride. I know it sounds wild, but that is what happens.
That's a goat. So I got some fun and not so fun facts, including that there was, like, when Maria Bello, who jumped on the chance because she is an action star, like she is trained in Muay Thai and I believe Jiu-Jitsu and different types of martial arts, was so excited to do this type of film. So she was like, I don't think after 40, I didn't think I would get this type of offer. I jumped on it. And then she was like, no, we're going to have so many more. We're so excited. And then that was like cut short. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
No, you're not. But the director at the time, who had some big things under his name, he got really excited, who was not the same director as the original Mummies, was excited because he wanted to film in China. So that's why he ended up doing it. This was, I think, his last movie. Maybe he had a couple more after, but last big name movie that he had. And after that, there were some allegations from his daughter about child abuse, and he has been out of the business since. So, not so wrong about that. So we also have, again, Maria thought it was just the beginning for her. It was not. The people who decided to say no, including Imhotep, Ardith Bey, or Odette Fair, who was Ardith Bey. Like, he was only supposed to be in for a quick, and die in the first Mummy, but people loved him so much. And he was, too beautiful that they couldn't tattoo his face. They're like, no. He can have one or two tattoos, but he's too pretty. He said no because he did not like the fact that Imhotep said no. So both of them were supposed to come and be a part of this. And Imhotep read it. The guy who played Imhotep read it. Arnold Vosloo was like, no, I'm good. No, thank you. And so after that, they're both are like, no, we're good. But I know that people were trying to say Rachel Weisz said no because she just had a baby, but she came back, she was like, no, I just didn't like it.
Hey.
They were trying to be politically correct, I think. And she was just like, nah, I just didn't like to do it. And I thought, we also know the rumor, the first movie she did, she really was really hesitant because she was like, this is going to ruin my career. Really didn't think it was going to be good or big. And turned out it was great for her career. But it did take a minute for her to realize that. So the original, she was like, yes. And the second one, I think she really had to be pushed into doing so because she also wanted to do a little more action because the first one was too lady in distress. So both those things happen. And then this one, she's like, no, I'm good. I think we're good. Interestingly, it was also in part because the son that she was playing was only 10 years younger than her. And she was like, this is absurd. Why are you aging women like this? And it is. Because in actuality, Maria Bello was only 14 years older than this actor. So he was supposed to play a 21-year-old. He's actually 28. and like all these things, as well as like he's 13 years younger than Brendan Fraser. So like,
yeah,
but we see that all the time where we have a lot older actors playing younger. Constant in Korea, like they're 20 years older than they play high school kids, and you're like, why? But we see that. So that was one of the conversations that was had and need to be had in this, like, why are we making really young women being like middle-aged mothers? This is a weird jump. And I think it had like continuity in trying to make the film something like that and aging them because of that, even though it really was only 10 years after the first film happened and only 5 years after the second film happened. So it was like he would only be like 18.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about this a lot. I just see it all the time. I feel like in a franchise that people love, there comes a point where the characters you love have aged.
Yeah.
And they have a kid. And then it becomes about how they're like can't fly fish, or they can't, it's almost like a sad, they paint it as sad.
Yeah.
When it's really just you're aging and it's fine. You don't have to, but they paint it as like a strange midlife crisis and your kid is causing chaos. It's odd to me how often that happens. And I think it's because the creators age with the franchise and they're going through this stuff too.
I can see that.
I see it everywhere, Samantha. I see it all the time.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like they gotta portray where they are, and this is what it is. For this, like, and again, like this director was specific to like he wanted to do it because of it being based in China and wanting to do something in China. I mean, he really did have some of the biggest Chinese celebrities at the time: Michelle Yeoh, Russell Wong, Jet Li. Jet Li is like huge, and him coming. I don't think he's been in any more films for the U.S. since not this, but like in a long time. So like having those kind of names, and also having that like notoriety of movies like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and as well as Hero, which was one of my favorite movies. Complete communist propaganda, by the way, Chinese communist propaganda, but it's so beautiful. And the artistry of like martial arts and the legends that is not tapped into in the US or in the Western culture, to have that being played, it could have been amazing because it's also based on the Qin dynasty, the Qin emperor. Like this is actually based on history, as we talked about before, as well as the terracotta soldiers that are absolutely in display right now. Some of the sites that we've seen. So some really great ideas in it. Again, the martial arts that we get to see with Jet Li, Michelle Yeoh, like the things that they do are beautiful, and the fighting scenes are gorgeous. This is where I say could have been, as someone who was starving for any Asian love, like in cinema, because I really thought at a young age that I could be an actor. But I'm okay. I'm fine. With all of that, seeing these faces and seeing these actors being placed in Western media with the power of the Mummy franchise, what could have been is what bothers me so much, because these are some of my favorite people. As a person who is, again, starving and didn't see hardly any Korean representation, to have any Asian face of any Asian heritage makes me so happy. Again, I go back to my love of the Brandy Cinderella story, because you had a Filipino actor coming in and being a heartthrob. You're like, what? And being loved. And this is that same level of like, I really want this culture, instead of being the stereotypes that we often hear or heard, especially during that time. Like there was this level of infantilizing all of Asian culture, and it still happens, but like seeing that often, where we see if they're only sidekicks or really smart, like stereotypes or talkative stereotypes in general, but we get to see them in action and being leaders and being heroes and being love interests. It really had so much potential. And then it didn't. And this is where you and I are not gonna like, I guess I wanted to love it so much that when I started watching, I was like, oh my God, this is really cheesy. Oh my God, why did they do that? Oh my God, why do they have this? Oh my God, why am I watching? Like, it just felt so like there was a little bit of secondhand embarrassment in me saying, I love this movie. And I'm not going to lie, I will still love this movie. I will probably never watch it again after this watch.
Yeah. So I had the opposite experience.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I saw it in theaters. Pretty much the only thing I remembered was the line when Evie says, it's almost like I'm a completely different person. And then I knew there was a dragon. I remembered there was a dragon. So I felt like I was watching it the first time, to be honest with you. And I was like, oh, this isn't as bad as I remember it being. So we did have a sort of a different thing. I also want to point out, I didn't know this came out in 2008. That was the year, I could be remembering incorrectly, but I don't think I am. That was when Beijing hosted the Olympics. That was a big year for American co-pros with China, co-productions with China. That was like the big, like, we should invest in China year.
Oh, was it?
Yes, I believe. And that's, to be honest with you, that's one of the reasons I went to China, is because it became sort of this big, you should go, this is the time, learn Mandarin.
That makes a lot of sense because Jet Li is pro-China. If nothing else, that dude loves China or is told he has to love China. There's some weird rumors going around about him right now that I like. This sounds like sci-fi level of rumors. And I think if people know what I'm talking about, y'all are in the deeps of the conspiracy theory of Chinese government. But all that to say is, like, there's some interesting stuff. But, like, I could absolutely, because, yeah, it was the Summer Olympics in Beijing. So that makes a lot more sense because they actually had permission to film in location, including the museum that was holding all of these artifacts. So I was actually surprised when I noticed that. Well, I was like, oh, they really let them, because I thought, maybe I'm wrong, but tell me, in the first scenes when they're in the dining room, it looks like green screen.
Oh.
Where they're supposed to be in London. They're trying to show off that they're okay and everything's fine, and they're eating the fish that he shot because he can't fish.
Yeah.
Poor Rick. But, like, it looks like a green screen of what should be a mansion.
Yeah.
Which is explained. They didn't have the budget to be in the UK, but they had the budget to be in China.
It's possible. I mean, I know that was a big push for a while.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because they got some leeway in being able to film there. Like, it's pretty tight knit on who can film it, especially in this conversation. It's not necessarily pro-China.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was interesting that they had, I'm going to assume, I could be wrong, but they did do like a lot of the legends and the lore. I can't believe they mentioned Tibet. That took me back because I was like, Chinese government would not. No way. But they did mention Tibet and the oracle bones and all that stuff. But they must have had some presence on set that was like, here are our legends. Go about it this way.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to say a couple of the actors would be like Hong Kong. And we know the big, like, the controversy there. One of the actors would probably call themselves Taiwanese, and then another actor was American. I believe Russell Wong is technically American, but Chinese American.
Yeah,
I think but like, it's pretty interesting because that is a real big issue, and we know that in this ongoing conversation about colonialism and all of that. So, like, in itself, so there's a lot to be said in that name. So for them to come through like that, it is kind of interesting who's representing what in this level. I want to love this film so much because I love them so much. I love Michelle Yeoh so much. I love Jet Li. Again, interesting controversial. I was like, what is this? Because like he was in Romeo Must Die, and that will forever be one of my favorite movies. Forever.
Maybe a future. I haven't seen it, so maybe a future.
I go back and forth because there's a lot of political incorrectness.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got you.
Russell Wong is also in that movie.
Okay.
But I love Jet Li and Aaliyah together. Like, that made me so happy. I don't know what it was. That had my heart singing. Singing. And apparently Jet Li loved Aaliyah. My 90s heart just keeps beating higher.
An early ship. Were you shipping?
I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it was awkward because it was obvious that they were trying to cast them as love interests. He's significantly older than her. So to me, that was a little odd. But they kept it PG. Like, they were shipping them as a, like, Romeo and Juliet couple. But if I remember correctly, I think she was like, I have to look. You see, you make me go on side quests.
Sorry.
I make myself go on side quests. I make myself go on side quests. Let's be real honest. He was 37. Bro was 36, 37. 19, 36, 37.
Ooh.
Right. So, yeah, significant difference. Ooh. Not sure why we were all okay with that. I don't think we were. Again, the most that they did was hand-holding.
Yeah.
So there was never any kissing. I don't think he has done any kind of... He doesn't do romance. But they really wanted this Romeo-Juliet title for this. And she was playing someone significantly older than that. She shouldn't have been. Maybe she was 20. I think she might have been 20. But still not good. Still not great. So I wouldn't say I was shipping them at any point, but I love the fact that they did have the cross section. And it was especially because, again, it's supposed to be the California based, and it was the Black community versus the Asian community, and it was gangster fighting. So all of these things are like, this is really politically not great, but the movie is iconic, and I loved it. And the soundtrack, legitimately one of my favorite. DMX was in it. I mean, who doesn't love a good DMX? He also gets killed in there. Spoiler alert if you care about that. Okay. Jet Li really came in with being like someone that the Black community loved because he was in movies like that. And then he was in Cradle to the Grave. Like, that also is with DMX, by the way. And so he did a lot that was in that level that brought into that, like, understanding communities. Because, like, we know Jackie Chan, who was great and fine. Then he did, you know, all the things, Rush Hour. But it was a lot more gimmicky somehow than this. So seeing Jet Li being in any movie made me very happy, because I felt like he was at least respectful in what he was doing. Like, even him playing this bad guy, it still was never like, he's a bad guy. Emperor, the Dragon Emperor is a bad guy, obviously. But like, Jet Li just seems like someone who did a craft that was based on martial arts and acting. You know what I mean? And not trying to take opportunities. And so doing the movie like Romeo Must Die, I do want to know the backstory. Who thought of this? So loving him from the 2000s. And yes, I had that VHS and then later the DVD.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
I think I still have it, actually.
Could be worth something. Look up. Some things are worth a lot of money that you're gonna be surprised.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back. But it's such a great time. And so anytime I saw him, and then Michelle Yeoh, who I love her on everything and anything. Haven't gone to see her in Wicked.
Yeah, I'm waiting that one. Oh, I saw the first one, and I'm waiting.
But she's in the second one, right?
Yes, she's in both. She's in both.
Oh, she is in both. She hasn't gotten great accolades for her singing. There's been a lot of criticism because the way they say it, that the director really wanted her, and so fit her into the role rather than the role fitting her. I don't know about that. But anytime I see those types of caliber of actors, I'm like, yes, it's going to be amazing. Like, I feel like we expected The Rock to not be great because that was his first movie.
Yeah.
And also really badly CGI'd.
It was notoriously very bad.
And by the way, in that interview, they talk about it.
Yeah.
And he says, because Brendan Fraser actually said that they never met while they were filming at all. And the first time they met was on the red carpet because the entire time they were filming, he was a stick with a
like a tennis ball.
With a ball.
Yeah. No. Actors have like broken down crying. Like, how can I act with this tennis ball? This is horrible.
Right. Like, I know Meryl Streep has done that. We talked about that with Death Becomes Her.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll never do this again because how am I supposed to do this? This is ridiculous. But I did find that funny. But he talks about like this advanced his career because that was the first movie that he had ever done. And Brendan Fraser was like, yeah, we should bring him on. Come on, he's a big name type of conversation. So stuff like that is really, why. But the third one I thought would be just a little bit better because you had high caliber. And Maria Bello, God bless her, she is a phenomenal actor.
Oh, yeah. I don't think, like you said, she had everything stacked against her. I don't think she did a bad job at all.
No.
It was just that she was not
Rachel Weisz.
Yeah, who people were used to and who they were expecting. But yeah, she did great.
So with all of that, this is why I wanted to love it so much. And now rewatching, I'm like, oh God, it really wasn't good. Okay. Come back to the new movie. I'm actually interested in how they're going to do this. Like, if they're bringing back the entire cast, are they going to bring back Alex or are they going to just make him a blip?
Yes. So listeners, if you don't know, they are bringing back, according to rumors, Rachel Weisz and Brendan Fraser and Arnold Vosloo Imhotep.
Yep. As well as Odette Fair as
Ardith Bay. Yes. I don't know.
And Jonathan's coming back, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. It seems... I honestly have no idea. Because so much time has passed. As someone who is getting older myself, I'm like, am I going to go out there and beat up mummies again? I don't know. But I don't know who's directing it or anything or writing it.
I think they're bringing back the original. So Stephen Sommers, who was the director of the two, and then the third one, he's like, I'm out, but I'll produce it, and had nothing. He literally says, I really didn't know anything about this movie. I was just, we were done. The way he went about it is like, I would love to have come with the original actors, and if they say yes, and Brendan Fraser was the same way with his like comeback, everybody's like, yeah, let's do this. And he's like, I'm down if they're down. I don't see what that would look like. I think everybody is seemingly confused of what this will look like. It's going to be under Universal Pictures. I mean, if that exists, there's a lot of mergers happening. Who knows?
God.
The writers for that third movie, by the way, like lost work for so long until they were able to come back for Wednesday in Beetlejuice.
Oh.
And so they have made it back. So for a little while, though, it's not going well for them.
Yeah.
They're saying that it could be Matt Bettinelli, Olpen, and Tyler Gillette from Radio Silence.
Okay.
With the script being by David Coggeshall, I don't know. And this is from Deadline article of November. So there is, I guess they have new people. I thought it was going to be Stephen Somerville. I thought he said that he was down for it, but it doesn't seem like it in this article.
No, I think a lot of pieces are still moving. This is one of those. It got a lot of hype because a lot of us love it. So,
I mean, if it happens, and the thing is, it's going to be better than the last one, I think. And even the new reprise with Tom Cruise. So it's got to be better than those two things, right?
I don't know.
But will it be better than the first? No. Probably not. No. So like that's kind of that level. Like we would love it for the sake of loving it. But do we love it enough to support it if it's not great?
I'm going to say something. I said no very quickly there. I like to think I'm an open-minded. I try to keep a really open mind about these things. And my mind has been changed before. So it's possible. I just think that when something, I remember seeing that in theaters, the first Mummy,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved it. And I think that it's going to be really hard to match me being however old I was at the time, like 9,
Yeah.
and watching that movie in theaters. I just think that's going to be a difficult experience to match.
Could it reopen where the younger generations gets to love a newer version?
Yeah. I think so. I think so. I actually have a happy hour about how I've been kind of accidentally learning more about the U's in fandom. So I can't really predict what they're up to be honest. That's kind of I don't know.
Apparently there's another Mummy movie coming out. But it's not the same. I think it's just using the title. Because it's under Warner Brothers. And it's a horror.
I ran into this when I was trying to search where I could stream this movie.
Okay.
I found it. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
What you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel like we should just tell people, stop doing that. Give new names.
No, they're not going to do that. They want you to fall into the trap. That's their desire.
But apparently this is under Blumhouse as well, so...
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Okay, but there's a lot happening. Thank you for letting me have this, because I needed to explore. My bubbles kind of popped, I will say, after rewatching, and now I need to redo, so maybe I'm going to go back with Romeo Must Die for real, just to have... I will say, immediately after I watched this one, I was like, I need to watch the first one. I got to cleanse this mummy taste out of my mouth. Out of my spirit. So it's like, I need to watch the first one just to get back into it. Because it was look. When you look at childhood memories and what you want to love, again, why you want to love things, and things come crashing down, it's a little disappointing. I do have hopes for a good not remake, but a revamp. Because I mean, honestly, I just get really hyped when I see actors that I've seen work together so well come back together and reunite, that I would just be hyped for that. So like when I see a correlation, like these two were in this together and now they're in this, it does make me very happy. So I would just be happy with a Rachel Weisz, Brendan Fraser, like guest appearance in a random movie or show. That would make me happy, to be honest. But, you know, I'm interested. I'm excited to see, because again, I feel like Brendan Fraser's comeback is delightful. I love Rachel Weisz, even with all of the personal relationship with, you know, leaving her husband to be with Daniel Craig, who's a very sexy, sexy man. So I get it. But still, you know, questionable, but you're happy. We hope you're happy, because she is a gorgeous woman that everybody deserves to be happy. No one likes to be in the limelight with those ways. But all those things, we want to see things, all the bad things that I'm like, there's so many things that or people or corporations that have to be boycotted, and just trying to find small pleasures. Yeah. Without wanting to burn the world down. That's also hard to come by sometimes. Yeah. I'm gonna have to take a pause and go watch the original Anney, I think. Oh yeah. Well, I think you should. And and maybe next year Romeo Must Die will happen. Yeah. But then we'd have to address all of the big and like rough.
Yes.
Rough.
Yes. I've said it before. I said it in our original Mummy episode. And it kind of happened here, not to the best degree, but it was kind of Evie's story and Rick was just supporting her. It was very much like she was leading the way and he was like, here are the tools I stole from somebody. Yes. This time is guns. All the guns. Yes. Which the second one was about guns as well, honestly. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm sure we'll be back here when the fourth one comes out. Yeah. Maybe the Scorpion King. I think we should do it. Maybe. But In the meantime, listeners, please let us know if you have any movies like this, any kind of, I hate the word guilty pleasure, but like anything like that you like to revisit, that you know,
rediscover.
You know, maybe is not the best, but it meant something to you for some reason. You can email us at hello@stuffnevertoldyou.com. You can find us on Blue Sky at Mom Stuff Podcast, or on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff Would Never Told You. We're also on YouTube. We have some new merchandise at Cotton Bureau, and we have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks as always to our super producer Christine, our executive producer Maya, and our contributor Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff Never Told You is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.